conservative new media viewers. Today I want to take a look and talk about the family of Donald J. Trump, of course, our new 45th president of the United States. They say you can tell a lot about a person or a man by his family. And so I wanted to just kind of go over that and share some thoughts about that and how the family reacts or reflects on Donald Trump himself. Number one, Melania Trump. What do we know about Melania Trump? She speaks five languages. She, of course, was a model, has been a model for, 20, 25 years. I would imagine she's retired now, but she did it for quite a long time and apparently was quite successful and started at it when she was, 18, 19, something like that, and was in, I believe, Italy and other European nations modeling, so she was quite successful doing it. I think she began in college but never ended up finishing it, and you could imagine that she didn't need to do that because she was making the money she was making as a model. Now, she seems extremely good with her child, Barron Trump. She seems very giving, very considerate. I've watched multiple interviews with her. She comes across really, really well. She seems very kind. And even when you saw the Obamas interacting with the Trumps, Michelle Obama didn't seem particularly fond of Donald Trump, but she did seem to get along pretty well with Melania Trump, notwithstanding that little box gift exchange where there seemed some awkwardness just because Michelle didn't know where to put it. So, in my personal opinion, Melania Trump she's very classy, she's very intelligent. Someone to be able to speak five languages takes real ability. I don't know what her IQ is or anything like that, but I think she's clearly a very smart person. That would be my guess. Ivanka Trump. Ivanka Trump, I think, is a great example of what and how Donald Trump has raised his children. She seems very capable. She seems very independent. She seems very intelligent. She's kind. She's always seems nice and warm and giving. I was watching the inauguration festivities, she never seemed to get bored. She never seemed to be put off by having to be there. Nothing like that. I think Ivanka, along with Melania, is a great representative of Donald Trump and the Trump brand. Donald Trump Jr., same thing. Seems very affable, seems very intelligent, seems like a normal type of guy. Like I've seen various pictures of Donald Jr. in hunting gear and kind of out in the forest or the wilderness, just kind of doing his thing. I believe that Donald Jr. lives in the Catskills, up and away from New York City by a couple of hours. His wife seems to be down to earth and cool. I kind of forget who's married to whom, Laura Lee and the others, so I don't want to say the wrong thing right now, but Donald himself has always struck me as very genuine, very real, and again, a good person, and with a very kind presence in the same way that Ivanka is. Eric, same thing. Eric is huge. What is he, like 6'6" or something? I mean, he dwarfs his dad, who is 6'3". Same thing. Really seems like a great wife. Seems like a really cool person. Another good representative of Trump and the Trump brand. Also seems intelligent. If Donald Trump didn't think that Junior and Eric were capable of running his multi-billion-dollar business, then he's not turning over that to them. John Sr. has said basically, look, if these guys mess up, then they're going to get the business taken away from them. So he's not, of course he wants to help his kids, but you got to work, you got to actually produce, or they're not going to be able to stick around in those executive positions. Tiffany Trump. We know less about Tiffany. I believe Tiffany is the daughter of Marla Maples, but she also seems a good presentation. She seems like she's a young woman who's kind of coming into herself, maybe hasn't found herself completely yet, but she's getting there. There's different things saying, oh, he doesn't They don't like to show her as much, whatever. I didn't see that. She seemed very much present at the inauguration. She was certainly present at the inauguration ball. And I'm sure that Donald Trump cares about her as much as he cares about his other kids. Barron Trump. There's different people taking shots at Barron Trump. Oh, he seems off or all this little stuff. Barron Trump's 10 years old, or whatever he is. He looks bigger than that, or older than that, because he's a pretty big kid for his age. But he's just somebody who might not have come all the way into the comfortability with the public and being in front of the camera like the rest of the Trumps are, or at least particularly the three older siblings. Tiffany and Barron might be a little bit more not there quite yet, and again, they're still young people, particularly Barron. So when you see the totality, when you see the entire Trump family out there, Donald, Melania, Eric, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and their spouses, and those spouses' kids, you see a happy family, you see a successful family. But again, forget about the success. What I see more than anything else is a love, kind of a warmth and a goodness about them. And that comes back and reflects extremely well on Donald Trump, particularly when you consider Trump has had multiple wives. We all know of situations and unfortunate circumstances where stepchildren and kids kind of get lost or in the shuffle, or they get kind of pushed aside, not given as much attention or whatever it is, in situations where there's multiple marriages. That definitely does not seem like the case with Donald Trump and his kids. They seem like they're very well socialized, well developed. They seem like full adults, independent, kind, and well balanced. And so, like I said, that makes Donald Trump look really good. He raised these children. And if he raised these children, and these children are this well developed and got it together and got it going on, that makes Senior look like he can't be this caricature that sometimes people want to make him out to be. He can't be this crazy sexist, or else Ivanka wouldn't be what she is. He can't be this curmudgeon or this, I don't know, anti-intellectual, whatever you want to call it, because his kids have turned out extremely well. And I don't think anybody, even his harshest critics, can really refute that. I don't think there's any way to dispute how well the Trump children have turned out. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. What do you think? Those are my own thoughts. And I talked about it with John as well. But I think that it really speaks to what kind of a person and what kind of a father and what kind of a leader Donald Trump Sr. is. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Once again, I am PFV, Paul F. Villarreal. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We will be here with you. Now I've got a camera and I can start making videos, so I'm getting on camera more. We're going to be here. We'll try to be here every day, probably multiple times per day. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to traveling through this new Trump administration with all of you and enjoying it and kind of documenting it and talking about it as we go along day by day. Take care. Talk to you later.